All right, guys, let's dive into this recap. It is Thursday, December 13th, and it's been a pretty solid morning so far. I've been saying I've been waiting for, a nice rip. I've been saying I've been waiting for a nice run, and we are starting to see this, good activity. What did we have so far today? We did have YECO on one of the better rips today. We also are seeing CGIX. Let's not count that out. So let's go over kind of these top two. Let's go over CGIX. Let's go over YECO, and let's talk about why these stocks are having the rips that they are. Because every single day, break down the top gainers, figure out why they're top gainers. This is how you guys are going to get the best education. So we're going to start with YECO. And we're going to basically just not take away all the support and resistance lines and start from scratch right here. And we're going to say to ourselves, okay, why is YECO up? First thing I always like to do is look for news. Is there news on display? And we do have news right here. It says that YECO acquires one of these great Michelangelo paintings. Now, as you guys know, Michelangelo was a very famous painter back in the day, and that this painting was a yard sale. It was acquired for $7.5 million, I believe it was. Oh, wait, $75 million. Woo! That's an expensive painting. No one's ever paid me more than about $5 for a painting that I've made before. And you know what? It was someone in my family. So if someone's spending $75 million on a painting, you know what? That is pretty good. So YECO does have this press release, and we say to ourselves, all right, so $75 million acquiring this painting, why does that help the company? Well, it helps the company because it's going to basically raise the company's value. If this is under the company's names, it's under one of its assets. $75 million is a huge chunk of change. Am I right? It's massive. So that is going to be able to help the company. Now, something that we also notice, though, is what? Is that this press release kind of already came out. This came out right here, at the 19th. There is a little difference, though, between these two. On November 19th, it says it has the agreement to acquire Michelangelo's painting. This press release states it has acquired Michelangelo's painting. So there is a little difference. Okay, and even though there's slightly little, it definitely could help, and that's what I'm noticing right here. That there is a little bit of a difference, because sometimes press releases and companies, sometimes companies put out press releases the same over and over and over again. And why is that? Because why is the company on the stock market? Because it wants to get investors. Why does it want investors? Because it wants your money. Simple enough. Businesses and companies are on the stock market because they want people to invest in it. They want to have your money. Why do they want your money? Because they want to be able to have funds to be able to do what they want to do, for them to be able to grow their company and hopefully, again, give your money back in a higher percentage later on. So a lot of times, companies release good press releases over and over and over again. In YECO's case, this is very close to releasing the same press release over and over again, but it is slightly different. As we saw in the first press release, it says it's to acquire. So it said on November 19th, to acquire, and now it's actually saying we have acquired. So there's a little difference right here. There is on YECO. Now, YECO, we can also look at this play, and we can see right here that this stock has only 2 million in float. It's a dark blue. I always put all the lowest float stocks on dark blue because I like the color dark blue, and it makes it very visually easy for me to see kind of what's a stock that could easily rip. YECO could easily rip, MTSL, LENS, maybe CCCL, ADIL. These just make it very easy for me to see. So YECO is one of those lower dark blue stocks, and that's I'm saying to myself, it has a press release. It's a very low float stock. This stock has some very good potential towards it. So YECO starts its morning off by doing what? YECO starts its morning off by going from 490 and starts moving and establishes resistance. We're at 550. Why is this initial run-up so important? This initial run-up is 50 cents or right around 60 cents, which is actually a decent run-up to kind of start with. But that initial run-up right at the start of the day is very crucial because it puts the stock on the map, right? We look and we say to ourselves, what? We say, hey, what's going on today? And what do? We usually look at the high of the day momentum scanner. So we sit here and we look at the high of the day momentum scanner, and we could be sitting here and we just, are waiting for this. Let's start at the bottom. And we say to ourselves, hey guys, YECO moving up a little bit. YECO moving up a little bit. All right, kind of in the back of our head, we see that, moving up just slightly. And now again, as the day's going on, here's a little bit more YECO. It kind of keeps popping up here and there. So and other traders are seeing this. It's like I'm not the only person in the world with some sort of scanner that sees, high of the day, right? I'm not the only person in the world. YECO right here, YECO. Honestly, again, anyone can get a high of the day momentum scanner. If you want ours, our exact high of the day momentum scanner, go to dekmartrades.com, click scanners, and again, you guys could purchase the high of the day momentum scanner right here. So if you guys want our high of the day momentum scanner with the color coding and everything, make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. But there are other people, of course, that don't, that have different high of the day momentum scanners. But the fact is, YECO was making its move, and it got people's attention right at the start of the day. Now, it did have a U-shaped breakout pattern, right? This was an absolutely beautiful U-shaped breakout pattern, and we saw a lot of great rips on this play. We got a lot of great runs from U-shapes. If you guys don't know what a U-shaped breakout pattern is, we went to a nice lesson earlier this morning. But a U-shaped breakout pattern, guys, is, and actually I'll save this picture for one, a couple, wait till we get done with our little example. A U-shaped breakout pattern is one, we start with our initial run-up. This initial run-up, why is this important? This initial run-up, it gets traders aware of your play. Why do we want that? Because it's going to get eyes towards it. It's going to be able to bring volume. Volume equals activity, which equals profit. If a stock is moving, if a stock is climbing, if a stock is hitting high of the day momentum scanners, it has some volume and more people are getting aware of it. So it puts it on the map, that initial run-up. Now the stock has a pullback. After it has its pullback, or if it has a pullback, what do we know about that? This mark right here establishes what? Resistance. So this pullback right here establishes that we have some sort of resistance, right? Now the stock forms a beautiful U-shaped pattern, where the U-shape starts climbing back on up, and we start climbing and moving back up towards where? Our old resistance line, right? So we have our first resistance line, and we can basically just extend that to right here. And what do we know at resistance? Resistance is where what happens? Where we start seeing buying volume move in. So if we break resistance, or as we get closer to resistance, we see buying volume move into these plays until we get hotter and hotter and hotter until we break out. Notice right here, guys, if we scroll back on this, we have a little bit of volume from its initial run-up. Volume dies off right here. All big buying volume comes back in at the break of resistance. And what does that lead to? That leads to the stock going on a nice big run and a nice big rip. So we have our different areas: initial run up that brings in hype, pullback, which establishes our resistance. We have the U-shaped pattern that's formed. As we climb back up to resistance, volume is going to increase, and then we get our nice breakout. We've also talked about this before, going over our A pattern right here, our B wall right here, and our C wall right here of the U-shape. So if we have a U-shape, we have our A, B, C wall. Do we like to buy on the A? No, we don't like to buy on the A. Do we like to buy on the B wall? The B wall, not really, because it's still support. The best place to buy is either on the B to C, or right up here, C going to basically D, which would be the breakout. And that's where we see our nice big rip. But again, U-shaped breakout patterns are an absolute beautiful pattern, leads to wonderful rips, leads to wonderful breakouts, and they happen over and over again. Nice U-shape, nice run up, establishes resistance, U-shaped pattern, nice big breakout, nice big rip. You guys can see, this one's a little bit lower in volume, but we still have the same concept of the fact that this stock is still moving on up on a beautiful U-shaped pattern, nice big nice initial climb, U-shaped pattern, nice big rip, nice big move. So it's just, again, a very simple concept. As we already talked about many different times as well, we have a full about 35-minute lesson on this. If you guys would like to go ahead and check that out over in the video library on Tradecaster. Again, just click videos, and then you could search Dekmar trades if you want. This is actually bootcamp lesson number 16, U-shaped breakout patterns, which you're going to about a 30-minute lesson going over absolutely everything. So YECO, we have our credible press release, we have a low float, and then on top of that, to start things off, we have a U-shaped pattern. This is where I was saying, hey guys, break a 550. Break a 550, that's where we're going to see that nice rip. That's where we're going to see that nice run. Break a 550, what happened? The stock ran all the way up towards around 625. Guess what we even saw again? You could even say another little bit of a U-shaped pattern where we establish our top resistance. U-shape is formed, break of the U-shape, we get our nice rip and run all the way up towards around 660. So, that's absolutely great. And we could establish our top resistance right here. So what eventually ended up happening, the stock did start falling back on down. It was not able to hold its, a big gain. It came back down towards around 566, and it's currently sitting around 588. Is this stock done with? Is this stock over with? No, the stock's not over with, but it needs to get back on the $6 for kind of more volume to move in. Back above $6, we could definitely see it back up towards maybe around $6.50 around lunch hours or this afternoon. Right now, as you guys can see, it came up to $6, failed, $6 failed, even try to stay above it right here and failed. It has support around 565, and that's from this consolidation area in the past, and right now it's kind of just inside this big channel. But I want to let you guys know why it broke out and where you guys can really make that big money. That big money is going to be coming from that U-shaped pattern, and that's where we saw that big explosiveness, that nice big rip, and that nice big run. Other than that, what else did we see today? We saw CGIX. CGIX went on a nice big rip and nice big run. So let's talk about this one because we really didn't play this one or focus on this one as much. So why is CGIX ripping and running? CGIX, first things first. This play, do we have any sort of news? Well, what's the last press release? December 3rd. December 3rd, don't really have anything right there. Do we have anything right here? December 6th, underneath filings. Nope, nothing really there. So there's no news on the stock. No news on the stock. So why in the world is it running, currently up 70%? Well, let's look at the chart pattern then. If there's no news, it has to be something with the chart pattern. What can we see right here if I had to take a bet on why the stock was making a nice move? Well, it did fall from around this 130 mark. So 130 fell for about the past 2 months straight, came all the way back down towards around 20 cents. And yesterday we had our first little bounce play. So as you guys could see, we have red, all the way on down. Yesterday was about the first green day we've had in about, the first solid green day we've had in about 2 months. So I'm thinking we had a little bit of support at 20 cents. It ran up towards around 24 cents. Since we got a little hype today, it broke through the 13 EMA. Breaking through the 13 EMA, that brought in some good hype. CGIX deck, it's 23 million in float. That's not a low float stock, as you guys know. Again, when we talk about floats, what do we know about stocks underneath $1 or that are below 50 cents? You're allowed to have a little bit bigger of a float. Why is that? More people can play it. If you have more volume, you have more activity, the stock has a better chance of moving, right? If you have a stock that's 10 million in float, what does that mean? 10 million shares offered to the public, right? So if I have a $10 stock, though, not as many people, people can't buy what? People can't buy 20,000 shares of that play. It's going to be an extremely expensive, unless you have a huge account, right? But most people don't have huge accounts. When you have a stock that's 20 cents and it's only 23 million in float, yes, it's a little bit bigger float, but understand how many more people can play that stock. It's only 23 cents, right? So since it's only 23 cents, a lot more people can play this stock. Since it's only 23 cents, a lot more people can get involved with it. So make sure you guys check that out. Again, another float lesson, very important. That is going to be boot camp lesson number 8. If you guys are interested on that, learning more about the float and why stocks can go on big time spikes, boot camp lesson number 8 right here, the float of a stock. So again, make sure you guys go check that out. So CGIX, the reason I'm saying this one popped on up is because it finally found some support line. Nice little green day yesterday. Some buying volume came on through, and since it broke through the 13 EMA, that's where that one got some nice hype. We can also say, hey, what also formed on CGIX right here? Initial run up, establishes top resistance around 29 cents, falls on down, U-shapes formed, breakout, and then things get a little bit more spicy as it runs on up. So, another, good example of the U-shaped pattern really taking over and being a nice consistent play, right? So, that one's not too bad. That one's not too shabby. But, CGIX and YECO are kind of the top dogs today on the big money makers. ADIL has potential right now for the possible third touch breakout coming on through. This is obviously inside a channel. We have very nice support at what area? 250, 250, 250, where every time it comes down to 250, we obviously see some sort of bounce play. And then what happens at $3, we failed. We came up to 310, we failed. Coming back up to $3, we may see a possible breakout coming on up. This will lead towards a possible third touch breakout. And as we know with third touch breakouts, we have our initial run up. Usually we have our initial run up, which is our one touch. Second touch, third touch is usually our breakout. The only concern on this is we don't have the initial run up. Usually stocks go on a big time spike, so they have crazy amount of ripping, crazy amount of volume towards it. In this case, ADIL doesn't have the initial spike. That's my only concern. So it's going to be a little bit later on volume, but we do have ADIL. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's tune into this party real quick and see if this thing is going to be able to break up to $3. So ADIL, we got our third touch breakout pattern possibly coming on up, looking for that possible breakout. Let's go right here, mark up, arrow, You can see it's starting to move, come up to this mark, which is going to be boom. Turn that right here. And let's see what's going to happen. Right now, guys, what are we looking at? We're looking at the bids and the asks. So what do we want to see? We want to see the bids definitely stay above 295. Bids, if they drop down to 294, that's just a little bit of weakness. So we want to see bids up 296, 297. And I bet if we see 297, that's where we're going to see a lot of volume start moving on through. Again, going back down to 295 shows a little bit of weakness. Or excuse me, 294 shows a little bit of weakness. This stock has been creepily making its way on up. Here's the volume that I'm talking about. Boop. Notice that it comes on a lot more through. Now, again, bids need to stay above $3. And on top of that, what do we need? High of the day is 310. So bids need to stay at $3, 301, 302, get a little comfort area. But again, this is still not our breakout area. Our breakout area is still up towards around 310 since that's our top resistance. But hey, things starting to creep on up a little bit. Third touch breakout looking pretty good. And ADIL starting to move. Clap our hands because we got a third touch breakout. Deck, is that a song? No, not at all. If it was, no one would listen to it. So with that being said, guys, notice we have a third touch breakout pattern, and we usually see, some very nice rips from third touch breakout patterns. How big are our rips that we see that on third touch breakout patterns? Pretty big. And we just got halted. Hey. Third touch. Hey, Third touch. I was about to go off right there. So, I mean, guys, is it anything, too crazy right here when you see, your third touch breakout patterns? So you get your third touch breakout patterns and you just see this thing absolutely go wild. All right. So it's just like ADIL. You see your third touch breakout is just, absolutely insane. So, absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Let's see where this thing is going to be coming out next. Because this thing just went absolutely bananas, and I am recording this lesson as well, so I am going to post this for you guys. ADIL, third touch breakout, boom! Now let's kind of talk about a little bit more about third touch breakouts. If you guys are saying, I don't get it, what happens on a third touch breakout? So, third touch breakouts are basically, if we're going to screenshot this picture right here, ADIL right here. We're going to screenshot this, and we have number 1, A. Then we have second, number 2, B. Number 3 right here is going to be C. A, what does A do? A establishes our resistance. So this establishes our resistance, and we see that this is our $3 mark right here. Establishes our resistance. Then we come up, U-shape around. What does B establish? Resistance as it falls back down. That's basically what it establishes. So you may be saying to yourself, hey, basically A is going to be like, hey guys, $3 is tough resistance. B is basically just reinforcing it. That's all it is. It's showing B is very tough resistance. $3, $3.10 is very tough. The fact that this makes this big U-shaped pattern right here, comes all the way up to C. Guess what happens right here on C? Big time breakout. Why do we get the big time breakout at C? Because A formed the resistance, B enforced the resistance, C, exploded through the resistance. So, that's all that happens when we see, a third touch breakout. We establish it, it enforces it, we explode through it, right? So that's where we see our, big rip, and we see our awesome climb. Right now, the stock is currently halted on ADIL. The stock got halted at 10:54, so we got probably about 3 more minutes until the stock gets unhalted. Yeah, for some reason, the last week or so, Trade Ideas, their hold scanner hasn't been working. I have a meeting with them, and they're gonna send me a new one. So they're gonna send me a new hold scanner this afternoon. So you guys are all good with that. But yeah, look at this, ADIL, big time volume pop right there on that one. And whenever we get these big time volume pops, whenever we get these big time rips, we always like to throw on a little bit of Usher. Kind of like our song over here. If you guys are in on it, you guys are more than welcome to dance. If you guys aren't in on it, you guys are more than welcome to dance. And if you guys just like Usher, you're more than welcome to dance. But we will see how much higher this is going to be able to go. Nope, AYTU is not halted. That just doesn't have volume. So that just doesn't have any sort of volume towards it. ADIL got halted again at 10:53. So it would get, if it's a 5-minute halt, it's going to get unhalted at 10:58. So we're saying now, Dek, how much higher can this go? How much higher can ADIL go? ADIL is going to have $4 resistance. It's going to have $4 natural resistance. Then you got to look at this upper shadow of 430, which also goes back to this past chart history pattern. So that's, if it does continue with volume, I would say 430. So if it does continue with volume, I'm going to say 425 to 430-ish. But you always got to be careful out of a halt. Out of a halt, you always got to be careful, because we could possibly see some selling. But if it takes off, I'm going to say 425, 430 is going to be around the highs. If volume does keep pushing, but if basically everyone takes their profit after the halt, then it's obviously going to come back down. But let's see what's going to happen here. It should get unhalted in a couple seconds, unless it's a 10-minute halt. If it's a 10-minute halt, let's see right here. What time to get halted? Halt time was 10:54 ADIL. Again, if I was going to enter that trade, where do you want to enter it, guys? Third touch breakout. Third touch breakout if you guys want to hop in on that play. So it's a little late right now. It's a little risky if you guys want to hop in right now, just because, you know, you're buying after basically a 60-cent spike. Again, D Sprinkle, shout out to you. Dek had a small account, $1,000, made $350. Awesome. Let's see where this is going to go. Still has volumes. 375 is going to be a small natural resistance line. Again, we're going to see if this is going to be able to hold on up right here. Let's see if volume is going to be able to stay in. If you guys are in, it's always smart to at least lock in half your profit, let the other half run. If anything, move your entry up to your move your stop loss up if you want to go a little bit crazy. But let's see right now. It's still moving on up right now. If I was in on this play, I probably would have locked in half my profits and let the other half run. So, Dek, where would you sell your other half if it goes back below like 350? If it comes back down towards like 354, that's probably I would lock out, because that shows some selling. But right now, we got all the way up towards around 387 at the moment, and we'll see if it's going to be able to continue to break on up. If volume sticks with this, I'm thinking around 425-ish, 430-ish is where your ultimate sell target would be if this thing can keep on going. But again, if it ever falls back down, have a stop loss at around like 358 most likely. So let's see what we got right here. 380, bid staying above 375. Good note right now. Let's see how much more we have on this play. Yeah, I saw that 24K bid. There's a 24K bid at 365. He's at 10K now, so he's a little bit weak. He was, very nice support, but he has been taken out. And there, it is starting to get a little bit weaker now. But awesome job for the third touch breakout. Third touch breakout, an absolute beauty. Absolutely beautiful. And if you guys don't know these patterns, hey, guess what? They happen a good amount. So if you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed that play. I can't believe I didn't get in on that. Hey, the best thing now is you're aware of it. You just got that education. You put it in your bag of tricks. And guess what? You're all set, ready to rock, right? And that's, what I'm very excited for. A lot of people don't even know these patterns. And the fact that if you guys don't even know these patterns, now you're ready for the next time it rips. Now you're ready for the next time it breaks on out. Now you're ready to go ahead and make that profit when you see that possible next third touch breakout. Because they're going to happen a lot. Don't worry. They're going to happen a lot. You're going to see a lot of big time moves, a lot of big time breakouts from these plays. But absolutely beautiful, team. And again, good job. I'm happy I was able to go into this recap with you, work with you guys, teach you guys about these patterns, and of course, go from there. So awesome work. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, more than happy to help you guys out with anything you need. Right now, we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off because the stock just spiked 65 cents. Great job. Enjoy your profits. Awesome work, team.